Hey everyone, so today I wanted to do a video inspired by something that I actually saw in a movie. So the other night I was watching a movie and the couple in the movie was going through premarital counseling. So they were going through all these different ideas, different morals and ethics, and just things that really come together in a marriage to see whether or not you're truly compatible and if things are going to work out before you actually go ahead and get married. And it kind of gave me this interesting idea of not premarital counseling, but something similar, and the idea of like the kind of core root of that is just really getting to know your partner in a very vulnerable, open way to see their true character, the true morals, their true ideas on things. And I think there are oftentimes questions that we don't actually ask our partners or potential partners, people that we're dating, and whether that be because we don't know to ask these things, maybe in life we've been taught to kind of be a little bit more chill, not to come off with like the hard-hitting questions early on in a relationship, or maybe you just never really have thought of to ask these things. Whatever it may be, I thought that I would go ahead and share with you kind of a list of things that I've compiled. I have gotten lots of questions about my current relationship. As you guys do know, I do have a wonderful, amazing boyfriend that I am deeply in love with, and I think people have been messaging me on Instagram from our photos, and when we do Instagram stories together, people can just tell the happiness that I've been radiating since I've been with him, and just kind of my outlook on this relationship is so different than anyone I've had before. And I think it really boils down to the fact that I know him so well, definitely the good and the bad parts, and I feel like the same with me. He truly knows me for who I am at the core of my being, for the good and the bad. And the fact that we have talked about so many different things, we literally will just sit up and we'll talk for hours, and it's so enjoyable and fun to kind of see his point of views, for him to see mine, and then we come to an agreement on a lot of things. And I think that's really the main reason why our relationship has worked so well, because we take the time to kind of explore each other's brains and really go through these ideas that at the end of the day are what kind of make up a relationship. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. So the first one that is kind of the most important topic, it's going to be a little bit riveting here: how the other person feels on a relationship. Now, this is important because why? Because if you want to be in a relationship with someone and you question them, what do you think about long-term relationships? Are you looking for one? Would you like to be in one? Do you see yourself in one in a year, in 5 years, throughout your life? And the person says no, that's the number one signal that you shouldn't be wasting more time on that guy. I get so many messages from girls all the time asking me how to make a guy want to date them, how to kind of push like a friends with benefits scenario into like a relationship, how to make this guy notice that they're the right girl for him, all these things. And honestly, I'm not trying to sound blunt at all, but my biggest advice to you is, if a guy is actively telling you he doesn't want a relationship with you, he doesn't want one in general, he's not really interested in that, he's too busy for that, he's not open to it, that's like the best sign for you to take your time and your heart and your investments and just your whole being elsewhere, because you can't convince someone to want a relationship. It's honestly a waste of time, and I've been there. I've been like very interested in a guy for months and months and months, thinking eventually the flip would switch and he would want a relationship. Come to find out, months down the line, even years later, he's still not in a relationship with anyone. Like, he honestly didn't want a relationship, and spending your time and investing yourself into someone to prove your worth to them isn't worth your time. And I promise you, there are many guys out there that do value a relationship and would like one, and those are really the guys that you should be paying attention to. And so I think for a relationship, the number one thing that you guys have to see eye to eye on, and a question to ask is, do you want a relationship? Are you interested in one? The next topic that I think is really important to explore in a relationship, or in a new relationship, or even in a relationship that you're currently in, or one that you might get into in the future, is your partner's view on sex and casual sex. So kind of opening this up a bit more deeply, for me personally, I enjoy having sex with someone I'm in love with, someone that I care about, someone where there is a deep connection, more than just a physical action. But I know there are a lot of people that like to have casual sex. They think of sex as something that isn't, I guess, as emotional, maybe a little bit less special, and just something more that is just something they do because they enjoy it and because they like to. And while I have no judgments on anyone, because I truly believe that your body is yours and you are free to do with it as you wish, and no one else can really pass a judgment on that because it's not their life, it's yours. I do think there are a few things that are really important in a relationship. Of course, one would just be how important sex is to you. Obviously, if you have a really high sex drive, your partner has a lower one, that's going to be something that could cause problems down the line, as well as how important you think sex is emotionally. If you think in a relationship having sex with someone means you care about them, means you love them, means you want to be with them, versus someone else that you are dating thinks sex is something you just do with your neighbor, or you do with the person down the street or with someone you meet at a bar randomly. Those are things that are so crucial to why a relationship would or wouldn't work, and I think those are things that maybe are tough to ask, but you need to explore and you need to kind of get a very open dialogue going on about sex, how your partner thinks about sex, and really be honest with yourself. If you really aren't comfortable with dating someone that's actively, wanting to have sex with other people or vice versa, make that heard and don't wait until you find out that your partner or the guy you've been seeing or sleeping with has been also seeing other girls behind your back. Make sure that it's always up front, that you know what's going on, so that you can then make a decision for yourself and for your health and for your safety and also for your heart as well, to just know what you are stepping into. So I was approached by the brand LELO. Now, when I was approached by them, I was really honestly very honored because I do talk about sex and relationships and just parts of being an adult and growing up, and I thought that I was very excited that they thought I did it in a way that was very eloquent and very mature and also informative. So of course I want you guys to always feel like on my channel you're learning something, you're talking about things that are important, and you're walking away from my video with knowledge that you can actually use in your everyday life. So to talk about these condoms a little bit and to talk about why they are different, I'm going to go ahead and jump right into that. So first of all, again, if you are engaging in casual sex or you're hooking up with people or you're in college and you maybe don't know if you're going to be hooking up, but you go out at night and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, I definitely think as a woman it's very important to take control of your own sexual health, to protect against unwanted pregnancies, STIs, all that kind of stuff, and to carry a condom with you. I know a lot of girls kind of think that it's like the guy's responsibility to have a condom, to keep condoms on him, to have them at his house, at his apartment, whatever it is, but why wouldn't you kind of take back that control and rely on yourself? I have heard of stories of guys having condoms in their like wallets or even in like their back pocket of their jeans for like years and years and years, and when the time comes where you're going to have sex, are you really going to trust a condom that you don't know how long he's had it, how long it's been there? Condoms do actually expire. I don't know if that's something everyone is aware of, but it is something that you should be aware of. So with LELO and their design of these hex condoms, what they really wanted to focus on is the intimacy and the pleasure of using a condom. Obviously everyone kind of hears about using one, but a lot of people, guys and women, think that maybe they don't feel as intimate and as close. They don't really like the way that it like removes some of the sensation when you're having sex, and even just the idea of using a condom that's ultra thin, maybe some people start to think, does that mean it's going to be tear resistant? Does that mean it's actually going to work as well as a normal condom? But a normal condom is bulky, doesn't feel good, all that kind of stuff. So with LELO's Hex condom, the whole reason they're actually called Hex is because they have tiny little hexagons all over the condom, and it really makes it very flexible and very thin at the same time. So the actual structure of it makes it so it's really tear resistant and it isn't going to break or rip easily, but still giving you that intimacy and kind of that closeness to a partner by not wearing a condom that's like super thick and super, I guess, kind of killing the sensation and the whole vibe and all that kind of stuff. I think that is something very common with using condoms. A lot of guys and women, I think, kind of associate the idea of a condom as being something that takes away the pleasure, also maybe makes it so you're not as close, not as intimate, and Hex really wanted to work on that because there really haven't been any condom innovations for a very long time. They're kind of like this, same specific brands and the same specific types, so they wanted to come out with something a little bit different and re-engineered, which I think is pretty cool. I also do like the packaging. I think if you had this in your purse, it's cute and discreet, and again, I think every girl should have a condom in their purse if you are someone that is having sex casually or having sex not like regulated with one person. You definitely want to protect yourself and always make sure that you are the one doing that. You're not ever relying on a guy or your partner to be supplying a condom for you. I think that just is very irresponsible, and honestly, like, why wouldn't you want to take that own kind of step for your own personal health and just make sure that you always have a condom? So if you need one or maybe a friend needs one, you're always kind of on that topic, just as if you would carry like a tampon in your purse. Same thing. I definitely know at bars, girls ask me for tampons all the time, so I like to always be prepared, and I think if you're in that situation, you definitely should be prepared as well. And the LELO Hex condoms are available at Target, Walmart, and LELO.com, so definitely go ahead and check them out. I think you guys will really be impressed, and again, always make sure you have one so that you can never fall for the trick of, oh, sorry, I don't have a condom, or I don't like to wear one, they don't feel as good, because these are definitely a game changer in that realm. The next topic that I think is extremely important in a relationship is your idea on money, and just if you are a saver, if you're a spender, what type of things you like to spend your money on, what type of things you like to save your money for, and also just your work ethic and your ambition. If you're with someone that is really driven, that they really want to, accumulate a lot of wealth, they really want to be smart with their money, and maybe you're someone who doesn't really care, you like to just, maybe not work as hard, you don't really have any aspirations for any jobs that you want, those are things that can rip apart marriages and relationships, and just in the long run can be things that really can make you not compatible. So I think having an honest and open discussion about money, your spending habits, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, that can be something that can really save or make or break a relationship, and I think it's really important to be open about that. Again, I think money is a topic that a lot of people are very taboo against. They don't want to openly talk about it, but I think that a lot of amazing conversations I've actually had with my boyfriend revolve around money and our lifestyles and what we envision and what we want, and he is very supportive about me doing my own business ventures, having a job, making my own money, doing that, and it's really something that I'm very glad that he is very just welcoming and very, supportive about, because I definitely have dated guys in the past that didn't understand my YouTube stuff, weren't supportive of it, didn't think it was very cool, just weren't in agreement of it, and I even have had guys try to use the pickup line or kind of that way of going about something I have a lot of money, you should want to be with me for that reason, and all that kind of stuff, and I think that number one is so unattractive. I think you are a girl and the only reason you want to be with a guy is because he has money or money to offer you, that is really sad, and that is obviously going to result in a relationship that isn't based in love and that won't last, because money truly doesn't buy you happiness, and I know that's a very cliche thing to say, but all the money in the world to be with someone that you don't actually want to be with just because they buy you material items, to me that sounds like such an empty and horrible relationship. I cannot even imagine why someone would want to subject themselves to that. I actually saw a quote a while ago, and it said something to the effect of, women who marry for money and men who marry a woman for their good looks are both equally robbed in the end. And I think that's very true. Obviously, if a man marries a woman just because she looks good, not because she has any ambitions or goals in life, looks fade, and there's always going to be someone younger, someone prettier, someone hotter as you get older. And then a woman that marries a guy for money, there's always going to be someone else that has more money, and also you're going to get to a point where you have everything you want and you're not happy with that person. Or if they lose all their money, you're not going to be happy either. So again, I just think having an open dialogue about money is so important in relationships. Even if it's awkward or taboo, it's something you need to do, and it's something that's super, super needed. The next topic that I would put into my little pre-dating counseling or whatever, the type of thing where you're going to be asking these questions, would be their idea on fun. Do you guys get along on the same idea of what's fun to you? Are you introverted or extroverted? Again, very important topics, because things that in the beginning of a relationship you can kind of deal with, things that don't really bother you, might end up being things in the long run that really just are not working out and really make you not compatible. So luckily for me, I like going out, I enjoy it, but it's not something I do often. I honestly prefer to do it kind of for special occasions and kind of every once in a while, but I really love being home. I really love watching movies, snuggling up on the couch, reading a book, just doing that kind of stuff, and I'm really lucky that my boyfriend shares that with me. We have very similar kind of wants and desires on the whole aspect of going out and all that kind of stuff. Same with drinking and drugs. I think that's something, again, very important. Obviously, if you're with someone who drinks a lot and you hate drinking, that's going to be a point of just stress and problems down the line. Same with drugs, of course. If you're involved with someone doing drugs, I don't recommend that. I don't think that's good at all. But again, I think that's just things that people don't really think about until it's too late and until their relationship or marriage is wrecked. Well, if you kind of looked at those signs and those things early on, I personally think that people can grow and change and evolve, but I do think that a lot of things that people really enjoy, really like doing, or they're really into, kind of stay with them throughout their life just in one way or another. I will say, for my Instagram story, I'm so happy that a lot of you were messaging me about dancing with my boyfriend and that we looked very happy and very in love, and I will say that is something we love to do. We do love to dance together, so while I do love that, I also love that he can enjoy a night home when we're just kind of being casual and quiet and staying in. So we kind of have the best of both worlds, but again, I think that's something really important that you need to discuss. The next question that I think is important is just your interest in the type of things that you like. Do you really enjoy shopping and nice restaurants and going on trips? Or do you like kind of being more natural in nature, kind of staying at home, maybe not spending as much money on material items? Again, these are things that in a marriage could like make or break it. Someone loves to spend a ton of money on shoes and the husband gets mad because, you know, you always are wanting to redecorate the house and do all these things. I just think these are things that people don't think about until they're actually at that point, and that's when it then becomes an issue because you never really went through that idea of who is this other person that I'm with, what are they like, what do they truly enjoy. Again, luckily for me, I love to shop, my boyfriend does as well. Sometimes I'll pick out his outfits and he really enjoys it. We'll go to the mall and he lets me be like the little personal shopper. I actually recently bought him a really cool vintage Chanel tie and then the Gucci ties for Christmas, so it's really enjoyable and it's something that we like. But if you are a couple that doesn't like to shop, that can be something that really bonds you. Maybe you guys are people that really love to hold on to items that you've had for many years, to recycle things, to not, you know, always be buying new material items. And I think, again, it's just something really needed to kind of focus in on that. But I actually wanted to do a video with my boyfriend, kind of having him critique my outfits. I wanted to do one where I was going to buy a bunch of clothes and then try them on and have him tell you guys his thoughts. So if you would like to see that, let me know, because I definitely think he has pretty good fashion sense for a male. And being a hockey player, they do have to wear their nice suits to the game, so he loves to kind of pick out his nice suits, pick out a cool tie to go with it, and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely pretty fun for both me and him. The next topic that I think you need to focus on is activity. If you like to be really active and do very athletic things, or if you are someone who doesn't really like that. I will be completely honest, that was the one thing that I thought my boyfriend and I wouldn't be super compatible on, just because I have always kind of struggled with my body image and just enjoying working out and stuff. It's never been something I've like totally loved, and of course him being a professional athlete, that's just ingrained in his life and in his being and who he really is. But I have to say, I've been so pleasantly surprised with just how patient and loving he has been with me about exercising and working out and being healthy, that it's made it something that I love. He doesn't make me feel intimidated or nervous or bad about myself. He honestly does the complete opposite. It makes me feel super confident, super comfortable, super motivated, and I think that is so special and one of the greatest gifts he has ever given to me. Just the idea of being accepted, but also giving that motivation to better myself and to work on it with him. So I do have to say that's something that is just so truly special to me, and I can never explain to him how much it actually means. But on the same idea of activity, he has pushed me to do so many things that I normally think I would be so afraid to do, but because I'm with him and because I feel just that comfortable just like being with him and I just feel that safety and protection, I have tried so many things that I never thought I would try. Just recently on our cruise, we went kayaking in the middle of the ocean, which was fun but also scary. I'm pretty afraid of water and like the ocean, not of like swimming or anything, but of like a shark or a huge fish or just, I don't know, it just kind of freaks me out a little bit. But we did that and we had an amazing time in St. Thomas when we were doing that, and we got to see Magens Bay, which is actually where I'm named after. I was conceived in Magens Bay, not in Magens Bay, but you know, while my parents were on a trip in Magens Bay. And yeah, so that was pretty cool to see and witness. We did get very close to a pelican, which was a little bit alarming. For some reason, birds like kind of freak me out a little bit. So then when we were in St. Martin, we did this thing called the Sea Trek, which I will be honest, I was so nervous to try this. We had to sign this waiver about like not drowning and if we had a heart attack and all these things so that we couldn't sue the company. But it was actually so cool once I did it. But honestly, I was really nervous and I thought I was going to chicken out. So basically what you do is you go out into the middle of the ocean and you have these helmets that honestly look like an astronaut helmet maybe. And you can see out the front obviously, but they weigh about 70 pounds. So it's going to be pushing on your shoulders like this, and then you have the helmet all around your face, and you go 30 feet down under the water. You have to climb on this ladder like this with a helmet on, resting on your shoulders. If you tilt your head down or back or to the side, water's going to rush in and you're going to feel like you're drowning basically because you're kind of stuck in this helmet. And they do have divers down there to make sure everything is okay. You learn all this different sign language to like signal that you're good. You don't do this because if you do this, you're coming up. So you can't do the thumbs up. But you signal that you're good and everything's okay. And you basically walk around on the seafloor and you see all these fish and all these different like sea creatures and everything, and it is just the most incredible experience, and I really never would have done that if I wasn't with him, and I'm so glad that I did because it was unforgettable. It was incredible. I'm sure if you are like diving certified, it's kind of like a similar idea, but this is something you can do if you're not diving certified. But I will be honest, like when I was going down the ladder and the water was like rushing around me and the boat was swaying and I had this 70-pound helmet on me and I felt like I was gonna drown, it was intense and scary, but at the end of the day, I was so glad I did it, and it really was him that motivated me to try something new like that. So for me, that is a real testament to our relationship being very special. And lastly, emotions. I think the emotions is probably the number one reason why our relationship works. My boyfriend is a big, tough hockey player, but at the root of it, he is the most kind, just gentle, sweet, caring man that I've ever met, and that's really why I fell in love with him, and that's why I am so in love with him. And the fact that we are able to talk about our emotions, discuss things that we worry about or things that we don't like or any issues that we have, or even just our goals and aspirations and dreams in a very honest, raw, true way is what really makes our relationship so special to me, and what I think is the main reason that we have that deep connection. Because at the end of the day, we are best friends. We of course love each other, and I'm so attracted to him. He's gorgeous, but we are truly best friends, and he knows me, the real me, the good and the bad. And I think that's something that if you don't have that in a relationship, it's never going to work, or at least it never will be truly fulfilling that deep, amazing, special love. So it's really something you need to work on if that's what you want. It's really a way that you need to be. You have to be open. You have to be willing to communicate how you feel and the things that are going on and what you want to work on and what you want to change. And there was actually a guy that I saw a long time ago, but for a bit period of time, and I really liked him, but the main problem I had with him was that he would just not open up. I would always say, you know, how's your day? What's going on? And he'd always be like, oh, it's good, it's fine. And one day I broke down and I was like, do you ever have like problems or something that you're dealing with or struggling with or things that make you upset? And he was like, no, like life is good. I don't have any issues. And that just isn't a real answer. Like, of course, I value someone that is a happy-go-lucky, has a good outlook on life, but true life is going to have ups and downs. You're going to have things that bother you and things that are hard to deal with. And if someone is not willing to communicate those things to you, it's never going to work, and it's never going to be that deep, rich love that you truly want and desire. So for me, that's something just very important. And also just on the idea of him being kind and loving, he's always so kind to other people, to people we meet out, strangers, just anyone, and even braiding my hair on my Instagram story, like just those little things that he does and ways that he thinks of me and ways that he treats me really just show me that his true character is what I really love about him. So that's it for my video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found it a bit interesting. Make sure to keep all these topics in the back of your mind while you are dating someone and getting to know someone, or even with your current relationship if you want to dive a little bit deeper and really make sure that you guys are compatible and you have similar ideas and thoughts on all of these topics, because I do think they're very important. I also again wanted to give a little shout out to LELO for their Hex condoms. Definitely check them out. I will have all those links below. Again, they are available at Target, LELO.com, and Walmart, so definitely go ahead and check them out because they're very cool, and I'm very happy that they did go ahead and sponsor me for this video. I'll see you guys in my next one, and have a great night. Bye!